Asitukunayana Sumayana Siataya. Welcome to Reigniting the Soul Spark, a podcast dedicated to supporting you as you navigate spiritual awakening and step into spiritual enlightenment. Through conversation, meditations, and light language activation, the intent is to remind you of the spark that rests within the center of your heart so that you may find the truth of what it means to be fully alive. Hi, my name is Zara. If it feels in resonance with your soul, get comfy, relax, and enjoy the ride. This episode is not for everyone. This episode is for the warriors. Please skip it if you have children listening. It is not for them. If you are ready to stomach what is going on in the shadows of the world in a way that you may not yet have been ready for or exposed to, then this is the episode for you. If you are ready to open your eyes and look at these systemic issues of discrimination in their most vile and evil forms from the heart, with love, and eyes wide open, then please proceed. I'm sharing this dialogue because it is a critical component of human existence. Because we are the one, the all, dark and light in physical form, it's important to educate ourselves on these topics and uncover the monsters under the bed. Bypassing the shadows has only worked for so long. We are at a crunch time now in the evolution of the species, and we have to see the game for what it is. This is the true integration, looking at existence in all of its myriad of forms and allowing it to be. The following episode is my experience on how we turn the tides and come out of an assassination attempt on the human form. However, if you are in a sensitive state, I would recommend waiting to listen to this episode until you feel resilient and ready to overcome the horrors that are taking place on the earth plane. Timing is key. It is the real warriors that are now needed to rise. Let's begin. Gunayana Sumayana Siataya. What's wrong with me, you might say? How can someone sit there and believe life is so great when in fact everywhere I look, something is wrong? If this is where you sit, I'd like to take this opportunity to share from this space. It is all what you believe it to be. And that's what we've got to come to terms with right now in this day and age where corruption, greed, political takeover, and off-world agendas are bringing an end to the human race as we know it. Because fear is the real weapon, let's spin energetic takeover on its head and look at it with grace, humility, and understanding to find solutions to ending this game. Consumption is a powerful force. It is an energy stream that only knows take. It's a force that can embed in our genes before we leave the womb, or it can take over the sacred life-giving aspects of the heart. It is undeniable because it feeds on the very existence that you are, that which we all are, that which is God, an energy field of pure potentiality that we each have the right to use because we exist. It moves slowly throughout your hands. At first, you may think you have it all under control, whether that's an addiction of any form or an impulse. You give way to it and allow it to be. You allow it to travel through your bodily streams and you obey. You give it its right to make way into your space, and before long, you are hooked and unable to see the light. What's happening is you're overtaken with a gray force of light. Remember, everything is made of light. But this version seeks to shut you down in every possible way. So it will come with its entrails and ensure that they are hanging off of you in some way, shape, or form. In this way, it can make its way to the next target, and the next. Over and over and over it will go, replicating to the degree where as a society, we can no longer make heads or tails of what is morally just. This is an alien replication technique that occurs to the best of us. It's been on this planet for much, much longer than a few years, and thus we can't see it for what it is. Some may call it evil. Some may say that pornography, sex addiction, child abuse, eating disorders, repeated violence in our homes and on the streets are just the way of the world. Or some may want to excuse it for what it is, part of the human trap. Others may feel disgusted or helpless when we look into this space, so we want to turn our backs and run away, purely focusing on the good in life. And I can understand why. However, this is not the way. We have got to call these issues for what they are. This is called energetic takeover. You've got to realize the end game. It is to take a population of innately brilliant human beings and turn them so fully against their own selves that they don't even recognize each other anymore. In this way, alien replication can easily permeate the human energy field and embed in the genome. This has got to end, but it will only do so when we see a revolt. The conditioning of the physical space of the majority of people on this planet is one in which we accept, or we turn a blind eye because we feel powerless against a growing authority of energy that wants social control. This energy is feeding upon us, our children, families, communities, and nations through social conditioning, and is being embedded now as the norm. Are you ready to say no? Are you ready to leave this world behind? Because if you are, it is going to take a nation to turn the tide. It's going to take you to step up and face it head on, because this monster breeds from a place that is not foreign to you. It is in your blood, in your DNA, in your space in every way, shape, and form, because it is a living representation of the matrix as one. It too has not only descended from the original source of all that is, it takes its roots in the trees, in the earth, in the physical pain of the human form. It is a never-ending cycle of guilt, remorse, and despair that keeps it alive. And it will continue to do so until we look at it with fresh eyes. The monsters that we see in the outside world only exist because we have not made peace with the one inside. The reality of the situation is that they too are looking for God. They are looking for the eternal state that says that they are a part of the all and were never separate, never forgotten. These forms, though, have gotten taken so far away from the eternal light within that they can no longer look you in the eye. They look for connection from a place of destruction, weaving their intricate webs and hooks into places unseen. And they will continue to destroy the very fabric of humanity itself until there is a powerful force that enters your lungs, rises up, and says, "It's okay. It is okay that you've maimed, destroyed, killed, mutilated, and been the driving force of humanity's demise for eons. We know that your very nature is rooted in ours, so we overlook the fact that you have come so far from your source that you cannot recognize yourself any longer. We recognize you. We believe in you. We know that you are here to guide us home as well. We know we are doing this as a team. We may be on different sides, but we all have the same end goal. We want to be free from the suffering and the tensions and the divisions, but we can't necessarily find it alone. And so this is why we work together. This is why we play in a destructive way. This is why we come to you and seek your advice, because we can no longer let you have your way. We're a species that is maturing out of the victim-victimizer matrix, and as a result, we must learn to say no. It is time to stand up as a nation and a people that says we respect our right to exist. We respect our right to live free lives, unimpeded by forces and powers that look to take away that right. We respect ourselves as much as we respect you, and so we put a stop to all of this fight. We are going to allow you to be, but we no longer give consent to your arrival in our lands. We give you the opportunity to surrender, to put your own mind at ease. Do you wish to move back to the land of the Christed, to the eternal plains of creation, where we know each other for who we are and allow each other to be, unimpeded by domination, anger, vengeance, greed, lack, and control? Do you want to know what it is like to live without sorrow and pain filling you up so strongly that you must consume the will of others to survive? If you do, you have chance. Would you like to take it? Kunayana sumayana sutta kunayana syataya. There is a moment of forgiveness that has arrived in which you can make amends for the damage done. You can call on the powers and the forces of the Creator to forgive. You can do it for yourself and for the others. Are you willing to step to the plate? If you are ready, let's do it. Release control of the beings you have taken over and move from this dimension. Move from this time and space in a way that brings closure. You will be guided home. And for those who are not ready to listen, to take a plea, then it is time for the other result. It is appropriate to shut the game down, and you will no longer have access to source light. What would you like to do? It is your choice. And that, my friends, is how it's done. This is a space where boundaries and discernment meet love for the all, because they cannot play the game the way they play anymore. It has become forbidden on this planet to attack others without their consent. Free will is coming back online. I've had more than a few opportunities to negotiate with the villains of the heart space, the ones who've made their way into other physical forms because they were told they had to consume to live. They made their way in through birth, death, trauma, cycles of violence in the form of rapes, abuse, and traumatic ends to relationships. And they hang on for dear life, perpetuating the cycle time and time again until they come into connection with a vessel that is pure of wrongdoing. And that is why you see so many children being taken into these spaces, because they are the real diamonds who can change this world. They have hearts of gold, and they are ready to take it all back. They are ready to reclaim the rights of these species to survive, and the right for ours to as well. This is no game. This is real, live, and in full color. And it is up to you to pull the veil back. Do you want to see it for what it is? A reflection of the One. If so, bring it close. Love this pain as much as you would love the pleasure. The ones who are being tortured as victims of molestation, trafficking, and pedophilia. See them for who they are. A reflection of the eternal self. If you can see these people from these eyes, you would never let this occur. You would never take a species with such benevolent intentions as the human race and ignore their cries for help. The symptoms that we see in the outside world are none other than a disconnection from the self. When one is able to stand in the full sovereignty of the self, then the distractions become apparent. They become what they are meant to be. Signals to bring us back on course. So I challenge you today, look at the unwelcome events in your life as much as a blessing as the wanted. Look at the loopholes that you've made over time to bypass the suffering in our world and begin to make amends. Challenge what you see in the news. Challenge the fear on the streets. Challenge the moral bankruptcy that makes it all okay. Challenge what you know, and you will see a dawn to a new day. Kayana sumayana siataya mana konayana siataya. May we stand forever brave. Kumayana syutukunayana siataya. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that this episode has sparked the remembrance of who you truly are. If you've enjoyed this space, could you please like, follow, share, and/or subscribe? Your actions here assist me in reaching more people who could use a hand in reweaving their genetic lineage as one. I would be so incredibly thankful. I'd like to thank Life Effects Living Water for supporting me and this episode. Life Effects Living Water droplets revitalize, restructure, remineralize, and clean any fresh water from a multitude of contaminants, including fluoride, heavy metals, chlorine, agricultural and industrial chemicals, and pathogens. They are my best friend when it comes to removing what filtration misses, intracellular hydration, and supporting the ascension process. You can learn more at lifefxlivingwater.com. If you're looking for additional support on your journey, please visit my website, zarajmalstedt.com. I love questions and comments. Please feel free to get in touch. And lastly, if you feel to contribute to the growth of this work through a donation, please see the Patreon link in the show notes attached. Kasyutukunayana sumayana siataya. May you remember who you are as the eternal essence of all that is.